Hey, what is going on, everybody? My name is Chaos, and today I'll be bringing you my build for the level 20 Angara Avenger in multiplayer. So this character is actually a very good character to use, especially for gold and all that, with the stealth grid, and she has very good survivability. But you can see from my previous videos when I was leveling her up, I actually changed the build around a lot. Just because on stealth grid, the 30% power damage bonus and melee damage bonus that you get at the beginning, and then on top of that, the extra bonus you get at the end, it did not work for stealth grid, so I completely removed it. It just did not work at all, and I don't know why. Because Avenger Strike is considered a power, and it's considered a melee attack. So I just couldn't see why that wouldn't affect it. But I mean, if it did, the Avenger Strike would do so much damage. So that's the reason I took that off. But let's get into the build. Sticky bombs or sticky grenades. I leveled this up instead of stealth grid because I needed something that was more of an area of effect for this character, because Avenger Strike is more of a it hits one target and that's it, and you're mostly focusing on one target. So I needed something that was more of an area of effect, and the sticky grenades have a very good area damage of 1100 base, so that was actually really good. So I just started leveling them up. I haven't really tested it out yet, but I mean, even the sticky bomb at level 1 was doing a lot of damage, so I'm pretty sure it would be doing a lot more damage now. But it rank 4, I went for the damage over radius. Like I said, I did want it to be area of effect, but I also want him to be as strong as possible, so I went for the damage. And I don't really want too much of a radius anyway. When I use Avenger Strike, I'm going to go into a crowd of enemies, but they're mostly compact together, so it's just good enough where it's at. So just more damage overall, just to get the more damage that I need. And then rank 5, I went for the grenade capacity over the shrapnel. Um, this does give damage per second over time, but you only start with one sticky grenade, and I think at 2 you get one more, so that's 2. But at rank 5 you get 4, which is actually really good, and you can get a lot of damage out of these. So 4 is a lot, sticky grenades that you can get. So that's the reason why I went for the power cells, and you can always pick up more from the boxes when you need to. And that's as far as I went with this. Maybe if I level up, if I eventually get the character again in packs, I might take it farther. I'll go for the damage versus armor, because you really need that armor damage with these grenades. But in the meantime, right now I just have them at 5. And then, like I said, with stealth grid, I didn't even touch it with this build. This is not like a sniper build, so that's why I didn't go for it. But you can go for stealth grid over the sticky grenades if you are using a sniper. It's just going to be a way completely different build than what I have. And then Avenger Strike. So this is what I based my build on, and this is what I leveled up most. So for this, it's considered a melee attack. So that's why I said I wanted to go for stealth grid first, but it didn't really work out. So with Avenger Strike though, it does boost up with all the melee damage that you get from other things. So I'll get into that in a bit. But with Avenger Strike at rank 4, I went for the recharge speed over the bleeding strike. Just because I want the recharge speed, and I want to be able to use this move as much as possible. I want to keep the power recharge speed at 100% with weapons, and then I just want to have as much recharge speed on top of that with the move, just because it's really good, to use to stay alive for survivability, to maneuver across the map, take down an enemy that's really far, or just anything like that. So definitely the recharge speed. And because you want to use it more for the damage debuff at rank 5, you would want to go for the flash strike over the damage. 40% is a lot of damage, but again, you're only hitting one target, so it's not really that necessary. So I went for the flash strike because it gives a negative 85% or a minus 85% damage debuff to enemies. So they're doing only about 15% of their normal damage to you, and that's all the enemies in a 5-meter radius around the enemy that you hit with your Avenger Strike. And it will not affect the enemy that you hit though. So that's why at rank 6 you're going to want to go for the Disrupting Strike over the Cloak and Dagger. Again, because you're not going for stealth grid, so you don't need the power cells anyway. And I feel this is kind of just completely useless, because you can always go for the box and get more power cells anyway. So you want to go for the Disrupting Strike. Oh, can't say that word, I don't know why. But you want to go for the Disrupting Strike, and it'll give the enemy that you hit with the Avenger Strike stun a stun duration of 5 seconds, so they'll be stunned for 5 seconds. And it also does 30% more damage to shields and 30% more damage to synthetics. So if you like, you know, taking on the remnants or whatever, you're going to be doing an extra 30% with this move, which is actually a lot compared to with, you know, if you add it in with all the damage that you put in. You can actually be doing a lot to the synthetics, you know, the remnants and all that. And I mean, it does help, you know, with the shields. You can just hit an enemy with shields, you'll stun them, take his shield away, and then you can just shoot them or whatever melee and kill them. So it's really good to definitely go for rank, you know, the disrupting strike at rank 6. And then weapons training. So with this one, I was leveling this one too. I mean, I wanted to see what it would do, and it has the power damage, and you can get more power damage at rank 4, and then at rank 6 you get another 15% power damage. And I was thinking that maybe this would also help with the Avenger Strike, but it actually doesn't. This also does not affect the Avenger Strike, the power damage, because it's, I guess, considered a melee attack. So I only got this to 2. Rank 1 I got just for the 5% weapon damage, which is very useful. If you Avenger Strike into an enemy, you stun them, and then you can blast them with the shotgun, and you get 5% extra damage. And then the 10% extra damage, this will only affect, I guess, your sticky grenades, which is actually really good because they're so strong that 10% is actually a really good boost. So maybe, you know, when I fully rank out the character at rank 10, I will rank this up all the way and just get rank 6 power specialist just to boost the grenades and just to get the extra 15% power recharge speed and 1 more power cell capacity, which is really good for the grenades also. So that's, you know, in the long run, that's going to be a long time from now anyway. And bioelectric defense, I level this one up all the way because, like I said, this is the one that has the melee damage, and this is the only thing that affects the Avenger Strike. So I leveled this one up all the way. I didn't have it leveled up before in my past videos, but now I did, because since I know the melee is the only thing that affects it, at rank 4, you know, I went for the regeneration over the evasion, because you don't need evasion when you have stealth cloak, or the, you know, stealth cloak and the stealth dodging. You know, you're going cloak when you dodge, so you're not really getting shot, so you don't need the 60% damage resistance. And with how long it usually takes to use Avenger Strike, with the regeneration in the middle of the move, you can actually start regenerating your shields, which is actually really good because you're not going to get hit while using Avenger Strike anyway. So that's why I went for rank 4 regeneration. And then at rank 5, like I said, with this is all melee, so you're going to want to go for the melee at rank 5 over the capacity. Definitely this one is a lot better. You really need that melee damage. It'll affect the Avenger Strike a lot. And then, like I said, I did not have this one maxed out, but at rank 6 I now have the close quarters momentum, which will definitely boost the Avenger Strike a lot. And on top of that, your regular melee attack, which is really good, you know, if you Avenger Strike into somebody, and then you know, if you need to reload your weapon or you don't want to shoot, you can melee, which actually does a lot more damage anyway, and you can just take down enemies. And with this, I think because the Avenger Strike counts as a melee attack, if you kill someone with the Avenger Strike, it will actually reset the timer on this, and you'll keep your 65% max melee bonus if you have it all the way up. So definitely why I went for this one over the bioelectric ward. And you really don't need the ward either. Like I said, you have the cloak, you have so much survivability, you do not need more. You just need, you know, melee damage, and you can just dish out a lot of damage with this character. So for the weapons, like I said, I've been using the Hesh. You can use any shotgun you want, really, because they have the mod, the shotgun optimizer, or the melee optimizer, which gives you the most melee damage of any weapon, and this will also count for the Avenger Strike. I've already tested that also, so very good. You know, any shotgun pretty much is what you're gonna want to use for this character, and you're gonna want to keep your power recharge speed at 100%, just because, like I said, you want to use Avenger Strike as much as possible. So I mean, that's why I use the Hesh. It has a real low weight, keeps me at 100%, and it actually dishes out a lot of damage close range, you know, like point blank. So this is a really good shotgun. I'd recommend this over the scatter shot. Definitely try this out with this character. It's really good. And on top of that, with your boosters too, the offensive boosters, I think the strength enhancers will also work. I'm not too sure if the combat power, because Avenger Strike is considered a combat power, but I don't think that these will affect it. It's only melee. So you can go for the power efficiency for the power recharge speed. just to use your Avenger Strike a lot more often. I've used the mod 4 with the which gives 60%, and you could probably use Avenger Strike about every 5 or 6 seconds, and it gets really fun, you know, using these with Avenger Strike. So that's pretty much it, guys. If you enjoyed the build, please like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.